Shalom, friends. It is I, your grateful neighborhood rabbi, John Carrier. I'm so grateful that you've taken this journey with me of counting the Omer. A journey in one sense because we've literally been counting the days and the steps that our ancestors took as they journeyed from Egypt to Mount Sinai, from Passover to Shavuot, from redemption to revelation, from freedom to responsibility. Yeah, that journey, but also the journey that you've taken. If you've counted the days of the Omer with us, if you've answered the questions of the day, if you've given some thought to some of the things that I suggest you give some thought to, I'm willing to bet you've come a long way personally. And I've heard from some of you that you really appreciate the learning that we've been doing together. And I want to reflect that back on you. I really appreciate the journey that I personally have taken with you. Not only have I learned a lot about our tradition in order to make these videos, but it's also pushed me to think about texts that I love from our Torah, passages of our history, and even things that have happened in my own life in ways that I'd never thought about them before. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for that. This moment is bittersweet for me because in a way, something's coming to an end. Like the Omer. And I'm not going to lie, daily video is not easy. I like to think I'm getting a little bit better at it, so we'll see what happens next on this YouTube channel. But I am going to miss connecting with you in this way on a daily basis, frankly. That's the bitter. Here's the sweet. Good job, you! You made it this whole way! And it's just about Shavuot. So once you're done counting the Omer for this video, the next time the sun goes down, it's already the holiday. And we're kicking off with a wonderful Tikkun Leil Shavuot. Now, as you know, or you're going to know, Shavuot is a holiday where we celebrate getting the Torah. There's a legend from our sages that on the day that our ancestors were supposed to receive the Torah, they slept in accidentally. Can you imagine? Big stuff. God's going to talk to us tomorrow. Snooze bar. I don't know if they had snooze bars back then. It was probably just like a rock. Snooze rock. And so ever since then, in great chagrin, we've had this custom of studying Torah late into the night or all night leading up to the morning of Shavuot. And this is practiced in many Jewish communities by getting together to study Torah late into the night or all night. Our version of that at PJTC this year isn't going to go all night, I hope. But it is going to be a wonderful session we're calling Torah by Candlelight. So on Erev Shavuot this year, please join us as you've been joining us by the internet, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Zoom, StreamSpot, what have you, followed by some learning. The theme of this Torah by Candlelight learning is, what have you always wanted to ask a rabbi but were afraid to ask? We've sent out a link to an anonymous survey that you could fill out. Ask your questions. I'll prepare some answers and bring them to you on Erev Shavuot. If you haven't gotten one of those links, reach out to me on your favorite social media platform, and I'll make sure that your questions get answered at our Tikkun Leil Shavuot this year. We have wonderful morning services for the festival as usual, 2 days of those, and very important, on the second day, we include a Yizkor service as a part of our service. So if Yizkor is something that you mark whenever it comes around, don't forget to check that out. So that's how I'm feeling right now about this bittersweet moment of ending and maybe a new beginning of us doing some more learning together like this. That's also some info about how we're celebrating Shavuot at PJTC, which I hope you'll take advantage of. Before we wrap up this wonderful series, I want to ask you one more question of the day, and that is, what is your Malkhut plan? All this week we've been talking about Malkhut, this divine attribute of alignment between the real and the ideal, between what's on earth and what's in heaven, about, if you will, living with greater integrity. And so before I let you go, I want to ask you, what's one way you would like to bring your life into greater integrity? What's one small way in which you feel like your real life could be closer to your ideal life? And I do mean small. Sometimes this kind of realignment can be pretty dramatic and drastic and overwhelming, and for that reason, never accomplished. But I bet if you identify one small way in which your real experience can be in better alignment with your highest values, and just nudge it, just give it a little nudge. I bet if you find that one small thing that you can realign, then that success will enable you and encourage you to align your life in bigger ways. So that's my last question of the day of this wonderful Omer series. What's your Malkhut plan? If you want to, I invite you to share your Malkhut plan in our Facebook group and the YouTube comments here. send me an email about it, write it down in your journal. And speaking of your journal, I often say, you can write these things down in your journal to look back on. Some people have let me know that they've been keeping a journal this whole time and it's actually been pretty impactful for them. I want you to take a moment now or soon to look back on all the different things that you've written down, whether in your journal or on Facebook or YouTube or what have you. Just look at all the learning together, all the thinking you've been doing. Look at how far you've come. And I want you to appreciate that about yourself, how wise you are, how strong you are, how far we've come together, and what a beautiful moment this is to bring into reality. That's all you. You did it. 49 days, and we're ready for revelation. And before I let you go, don't forget to count day number 49 of the Omer after sundown tonight. Friends, this has been an amazing journey to take with you. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. And until I see you again, peace.